Hey, what's going on, guys? Suraj Matani here, marketing intern at LRT Sports, and today we have a treat for you guys, interviewing Harvard assistant, women's tennis coach, and former SBU legend Omar Kheshen. If you want to say hi to the viewers, go ahead.
Hi everyone, Sonny, it's great to be with you today.
Let's get this going. So the first question is, what is the first thing you look for in a recruit?
So there are a lot of things you look in a recruit for. So you're talking about his grades, academic side, the level of, does it fit the university you're at? So at Harvard, you have a certain level that you want to be at with academics and athletics. So it's always, you look at academics, athletics, character. Character is very important because, yes, tennis is a sport that you play on your own, but whenever you come to college tennis, you play on a team. So to have a team, you need to be, you can adapt easily to a team environment. If your characters, you care only about yourself, that won't work. So character, academics, and athletic, that will be the top three, I would say.
Okay, so you pretty much just answered my next question, which was if you had a player with the same tennis and academic capabilities, how would you choose? And you said character. Could you maybe go into more in depth about what aspects of character is most important and what are those aspects that a coach looks for?
So first you try, obviously, you do some, either if you can do some visit, that will be great, unofficial or official. If not, then through the FaceTime or Skype and getting to talk to them a couple of times and even put them with the team members. Because it's also good to get the team on the same page with you, because one day this person might be their teammates. So you want to get the feedback of the team as well. When you're talking about character, you need someone who's hard worker, very humble, appreciative of everything that happens to him or her, supportive. They want to support their teammates. They care about the team more than they care about them as individual. So I would say that's the main things we look at.
For sure. And you definitely stress the importance of having a team-oriented mindset. Do you think that's hard to find in recruits, considering tennis is mostly an individual sport, or do you think it's more common than one would expect?
It's not common. I wouldn't say it's common. As you said, it's an individual sport. You've been your whole life mostly playing on your own. Maybe yes, you can be on your national team for the country for a couple of tournaments, but that doesn't happen too often. Like you're mainly 90% of the time you're on your own. So it depends how you practice. Like you have a private coach and just you and the coach and a hitting partner, or do you practice in a team environment that you have, I don't know, 10 players in your group and it's more of a team environment? So it depends how you practice, how you grow up. Actually, it depends also if you have if you're the only son or daughter for your family, or you have a couple of brothers or sisters, that also makes a difference.
100%, I agree. We definitely have a couple of only childs on our team, and then it's definitely a much harder transition for them, and I feel like it makes complete logical sense. And what is one thing you learned playing college tennis at SBU?
You gotta work hard every single moment, which I mean by that, as a player, you can focus 90%, 100% for 30, 40 minutes, 1 hour, and then your level drop or the focus drops. That's what makes the difference between you and a nationally ranked player or a top 10 Division 1 or 2 player. Those guys, they don't waste any second. Your goal is to try to get better every single day, just 1%. Just like I learned that from my head coach here. Get better each day, 1% on the court and off the court. So my goal is you gotta work hard and it's gonna pay off. Like people think, oh, well, I've been working hard and I'm not winning, or my ranking is not going up. It will pay off. It will pay off at some point. You don't know what it will pay off. Like it can be ranking, it can be things you get later in your life. Maybe this person saw you competing so hard and you got a job because of that. I saw a couple of scenarios that this happened. It will pay off. It's just you don't know how it's going to pay off or when.
Yeah, I think that's so key, the idea of like sort of delayed gratification. Like and now like nowadays everyone wants like something like instant, like, oh, if I work hard, I want to see results in a week. But I think it's just so important to just stay at it and just be patient.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, yes, we all want success, but it doesn't come super fast. Yes, you're working hard and you're doing everything, but there are also a lot of players that are doing the same exact thing.
For
So
sure.
just stay patient, like you said.
Yep. And obviously Harvard is a Division 1 school. Could you talk about some advantages of playing Division 1 over Division 2 and 3? And what type of player would be best suited for it?
So I said before that the difference between Division 1, 2, and 3 is like the budget and the resources you have. So in Division 1 schools, like Harvard, I would say we have a lot of resources. You have all the facilities, indoor, outdoor. You have a full crew working with the tennis team, which is like head coach, assistant, volunteer, strength and conditioning,
Hmm.
psychologist, sports psychologist. So you have a lot of resources that helps you to go to the next level faster than being at a Division 2 or 3, because those resources are limited. You have a certain level. Always it depends on your goals with your head coach. So the recruiting will, like, let's say your goal this year is to be in the top 20 in the nation, then your recruiting has to match the level of the goal that you have. Your goal may be to be win only conference. So you basically you match your recruiting to the level that or the goal that you have. But normally at big schools, since they give you all the resources, they expect you to do better each year. The goal needs to go higher, because as an athletic director, they're like, okay, we're giving you everything.
Yeah,
What are the big results you're achieving? So with recruiting, you try to push, get the best players you can out there, and it's always a challenge, because yes, Harvard is the best university in academics and elite in athletics, but there are also great universities in the US, as well. So they're competing and challenging you with the recruiting process, trying to get the same players that you're trying to get.
for sure. Yeah, you mentioned about how you guys have a lot of resources in Division 1, and you think that's the main differentiator. I just want to clarify when you said when you were listing the staff that your team has. Obviously, you guys have a head coach, assistant coach, and but the strength and conditioning coaches and the like sports psychologists, are those just for your team, or does your team have access to like a core group of staff?
So I have one strength and conditioning coach that works with us and a couple of other teams.
Okay.
So we have a lot of strength and conditioning coach, and I think every coach has 3 or 4 sports.
Okay.
So we have one that works with our team, that she does the schedule and everything and all the goals and the tests and everything for our team. With the sports psychologist is exactly the same thing. She works with other teams at Harvard, but there are resources that we can use anytime. Like the sports psychologist is always available. She always come to our home games. So
Okay.
they're available to use anytime we want.
Okay. Yeah. The reason I asked that is because at Skidmore, a Division 3 program, we only have one strength and conditioning coach. So it definitely is harder for him to manage like every single team, schedule workouts, and sometimes it can get a bit messy. And obviously at Harvard or most of the Division 1 programs, a big advantage is the additional resource and fundings and budget that you guys have.
Exactly. Like I said, I was at Southwest Baptist before, and I played there, and I played at Florida Atlantic, which is Division 1. Division 2, the resources are way less, but that doesn't limit, your success.
Mm.
You can be a successful tennis player at a Division 2 or at a Division 3 or any IA.
For sure. For sure. And if you weren't a top recruit whose ranking speaks for itself and coaches aren't reaching out to you, what are ways you recommend those types of players to get on the coaches' radars that they are aspiring to play for?
Normally, I would say try to email the coaches, try to email the universities that you are interested in. Let them know that you are interested. Maybe normally if it's an American tennis player, so with the recruiting trips, we will see, the top coaches. If you're a top player, they will see you, because they're going to attend a lot of tournaments that all the top Americans play. But let's say you're a foreigner and you don't play in the US too much, so the coach maybe doesn't have a lot of information about you, or he knows or she knows that you're interested to come to the US. That's the time, you try to send an email, let them know that you're very interested in this program. Try to reach out to them, try to set up, phone calls or Skype. Try to, even if you have the resources to fly to the US and set up a meeting and try to visit the university, that's also a great resource, to use.
Yep, for sure. You definitely talked about the core of reaching out, which is like emailing your coach. What do you think some do's and don'ts are in terms of emailing the coach, and just some like common etiquette that players should abide by?
Look, I have, let's say, I think whenever people email sometime, before you email the coach, you need to know your level compared to this program level. And I'm not trying to put, any player down. I'm just saying, let's say my level right now is at this university, yes, I can play maybe number 2 or 3. I mean, you have a lot of resources because you can check the UTR of the team. You can check the level of competition. You know your own level. So you don't want to go, let's say my level is here. I don't want to go, for example, let's say I'm a UTR 11, okay? I don't want to email UCLA to get a scholarship. Don't expect the coach to reply, because then you're shooting way too high. Maybe if, yes, you want to be a walk-on, you can afford everything, okay, that's a different story. But try to be realistic with the emails you're sending to the coaches. Because if you're realistic, they will reply to you. Let's say you're a player that's close to the level we want at Harvard, or you're a little bit down that you can improve. Yes, we're always, coaches will always get back to you. But if the level is too far, then don't expect them to reply, because coaches get a lot of emails each day from recruits that want to come here. So the more realistic you are and the more honest in your email, because some players also, I prefer that you share everything in the email, that, the ups and downs for you. So some players share their best 3 wins, and those 3 wins are amazing, that's great, great wins. But you're hiding a lot of losses. I mean, coaches will figure that out. Don't think that the coach is not going to figure this out. There are a lot of connections. I can call someone in this country. I can check this. I can check that. It's not a negative thing to say I beat this guy and I lost to this guy. Tennis is a sport that you win and lose. We want to see that, you learned from this loss. You're trying to get better. So be very, don't hide information in your email, and just be realistic with the emails that you're sending to the coaches.
For sure, 100%. And basically going off that topic, what are your opinions on following up? If you think you're within the Power 6 or like similar level to the school, but they do not reply, would you suggest following up or just move on?
Follow up a couple of times, maybe. I always recommend in your emails to try to include the assistant coach, because as a head coach at these big programs, you have a lot of meetings, you have a lot of responsibilities. You attend a lot of things. Like I experienced that with my head coach, which is basically busy every single hour almost in the day, with a lot of meetings. So assistant coaches have more free time, and also that's their duty to assist the head coach in recruiting. So I would always recommend including the assistant coaches in your emails, but for sure, follow up 1 or 2 more times. Don't give up on one email.
Okay, for sure. And you've talked about being realistic, like having a similar UTR to let's say the team's level. Do you think what other things do coaches look for besides your actual UTR? Do they pay attention more closely to how your results, like the structure of your results? Do you typically have a close first set and then a 6-1, 6-0 second set? Does that stuff sort of matter? If you pull out of consolation, do they actually look at that and take that as a sign that he might not be the most mentally tough and gritty player?
Obviously. I mean, you look at some players and okay, they play the tournament and you check, okay, the back draw they pulled out, they don't want to maybe get a loss to a lower UTR from them. That's a sign there's something, if you're available to play the tournament, why didn't you play the consolation? And let's say maybe this week you're injured, that makes sense, and that's why you start. But if I see that every single tournament, every time you lose, you're not playing back in the back row, there's a question mark, why you're not doing that. Because are you scared of pressure? Well, college is full of pressure. You are gonna have a lot of pressure in a positive way, not in a negative way. It's fun to compete for your team, and having this pressure, everyone is on the line cheering for you. So if you're trying to avoid pressure now, that doesn't help you to play college tennis. So pulling out UTR, I wouldn't say is the only factor. Like let's say I'll talk right now at Harvard. Yes, UTR is one of the factors, but it's not the only factor. So we also like, if it's possible, to go watch the player, to see them, just because in the video, everyone has a great college video. You edited, you cut all the bad shots, you cut whatever, and the video, everyone has a perfect video. UTR 14 looks like UTR 10. The level of the video is the same level. So it's always good for us at Harvard. We try to go watch the player couple of matches, not just one match. Maybe the first time you see a head coach sitting behind you, you might be very nervous, and you don't play at your level. So we give them, we talk to them, we watch them a couple of times, even at different tournaments. Not just like, we don't go one decision, Sonny played today, bad in this tournament, Sonny's out, no. It's life not like this. We keep tracking your results. We try to see you in more tournaments and get to have a clear idea about your level,
For sure. You touched on the part of increased pressure in college, like playing in front of your team, like things mean more. Basically, every match basically has a greater significance. What do you think the biggest differences between college and junior tennis are?
The pressure is bigger, in my opinion, because whenever you're a junior, you're competing for yourself. So you have your own goals. Yes, you're going to let your coach down if you lose, or yourself down. You let a lot of people down whenever you play for a team. You're going to let 11 players down or something. And the pressure is different, in my opinion. But similar also at the same way. It's different and similar. So it's different in kind of pressure you feel in the junior and in the college, but it's also similar because it's pressure at the end. The word pressure is the same thing. You feel you have the same, I don't want a double fault now, or like the same feelings that you get whenever you're a junior is the same feelings you get whenever you're playing a college match. It's just, it's a little different. But the best thing about it, whenever you're a junior, in my opinion, if you lose, you're down. Yes, maybe a coach is talking to you. Whenever you're in college and you lose, you have your coaches, you have your teammates. So everyone is trying to get you up quickly, because you have a match maybe tomorrow or the next week and coming up right away. Maybe with juniors, you have, the school, and maybe the next tournament is in a month, or you cannot travel to ITS at the moment. So maybe it takes time. But in college, there's no time to be sad or be down, because the teammates and the coaches are gonna pick you up right away. We have a match tomorrow, we need to get ready, we have our goals, we need to accomplish them.
And also a lot of times when you lose, like the match can still be going on, and you have maybe a 2-minute window where you can talk about, dwell on the loss, maybe reflect on it a little bit, and then it's back to work. You're supporting your teammate, and if you're bringing the energy, that's definitely going to impact their performance.
That's a great point you shared. I mean, in a junior, you lose, you can be down for 1 hour, 2 hours, the whole day. Whenever you lose and the match is still on in college, there's no time to do that. It's time to cheer on your other teammates to win the match. Because at the end, your coach, I'm pretty sure, says that, and all coaches say that, a good day is a win for the team. I mean, it's great that Omar won today, but I feel good. But if my whole team lost and we lost the match, it's not a good day. It's different in junior. If you win, it's a good day. If you lose, it's a bad day. In college, you can lose and still be a good day because your team won a big match.
I feel like it's a different feeling. I've lost matches before and had my team win, and it's definitely not a feeling of pure joy, but it's definitely a huge feeling of relief. And then it's you celebrate with the team still. And it's that feeling, I take that feeling any day. And I'm every college athlete would agree with me, then playing an incredible match, but your team loses.
Exactly. I mean, you bounce back quick, let's say. Let's
Yeah.
say you lose and the team won, you actually bounce back quick because you're still in a positive. Yes, you lost, but you're still in a positive mood because that
Yeah.
was a good day. A good day is whenever the team wins. It doesn't matter who brings the point. It matters you bring the 4 points, to win the match.
Yep. 100%. Yeah, I think we talked a lot about the recruiting process and like what it takes to be successful in college. One thing we haven't really touched on is like sort of balancing everything together. So what are like some advice you can give to current college athletes on how to balance like their social life, focus on athletics and academics all at the same time?
So in my opinion, tennis players have been balancing their whole time. Before going to college, you're going to school, you're practicing in the afternoon. It's the same. Basically, it's the same schedule in college.
Yeah.
The difference is that, let's say you go home and your dad and mom, hey, son, you need to study now, or you need to do this. You're not going to have your dad and mom in college.
Yeah.
So now it's what you're going to do with your free time. Are you actually going to go sit, study, and you know what you're going to do or not? But balancing between academics and athletics, in my opinion, every tennis player has been doing that. That's what everyone's doing. You're playing the ITF, you're coming back to school, you're studying, you're catching up with your missed homeworks or exams. So you've been doing that. In college, obviously, yes, the education is harder than the high school because you're going higher, but you need to learn how to use the time, like your time management. Okay, now I'm going to study. Yes, I'm going to study 100%, and maybe 9 to 11, I can hang out with my friends. You need to learn to say no.
Yeah.
Not every time a friend tells you, come with me, son, let's go out, or let's do this. And let's say you have an exam tomorrow. You got to learn to say, okay, no, I cannot come today, but I will finish my homework or studying and then let's do something, for example. That's the only thing I would say you need to do a better job at whenever you come to college, because I told you, whenever you're home, you have a lot of support from the parents. They can put you on the right track. In college, there's no one, the coach is not going to come, hey, Sonny, you need to study now. They don't know after they're done with the practice. They will check your grades. And if they see the grades are not on the right track, yes, then they will talk to you. But if your grades are good and everything is good, they won't hear the coach talking to you about your academics.
For sure. Super valuable information. Honestly, that's one of the things that I feel like a lot of people will be curious to hear about. So thank you for that. Last sort of serious question before we move on to a couple more lighthearted questions is on the topic of leadership. And like everyone knows, like if you're a captain or upperclassman on a team, it's easier to have an influence on the team and get your voice heard. But what if you're a freshman or like a sophomore underclassman and you might not be as confident voicing your opinions? What are some ways you can, like some advice you can give to those types of players to sort of make an influence on the team?
Great question. So you're right. As a senior, if you feel that you've been at this university, you know everything, you have you're confident to talk and speak out. As a freshman, you're still going there, you're a little bit scared, everything is new for you. But here's my question for you. I'm going to switch it to you. I mean, you're a college player. So you're valuable to the team. What about the freshman? Is he valuable as well or no?
Yeah.
So he has the same right. He has the same voice to speak up as well. You care about the team as a team captain. That's for sure. But also a freshman that's coming cares about the team as well. A sophomore cares about the team. A junior cares about the team. So it's not only the team captain cares about the team.
Yeah.
Everyone has, as a team captain. So my advice, team captains need to give the confidence and the freedom to the younger ones to speak. You gotta push them in this direction. You cannot, any idea they come up with, you shut them down as a team captain, or you go very aggressive. Obviously they will never speak, because then they don't feel supported. So my advice is that team captains are the ones that should have them transition and explain to them that their voice is important, because the whole thing, all of you, like the whole team, the goal is the same goal. It's not like Sonny has a goal and player X has a goal and you guys have the same goal. If it's winning conference, if it's going to NCAA, whatever the goal is. So all of you have the same goal. So everyone's voice is very valuable,
Honestly, phenomenal answer. I've asked that question to like 2-3 other people, and that was definitely by far the best answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. So ending on a high note there. A couple more lighthearted questions. If you could recruit any professional player to play for your team, who would it be and why?
Oh, uh, I would say Roger,
Oh.
and I'm gonna tell you why. Obviously, I mean, no one can say anything about his
Yeah.
tennis level. They
Mm,
cannot discuss that. But in my opinion, it's good to have him because he's the least player that has injuries.
okay.
And in college tennis, you play a lot of matches. I mean, Djokovic is phenomenal. The guy is probably arguably the best tennis player at the moment.
Yeah.
But Djokovic, Nadal, on a long term, the history they have, they get a lot of injuries compared to Roger. So if I would pick one, I would pick Roger.
And would you also say Roger is better at doubles than those two guys?
Exactly. So
Okay.
Roger is gonna bring you the singles experience and the doubles experience. I mean, not that Nadal is doing
Yeah.
bad. He had a lot of success in doubles as well. But yes, I mean Roger is gonna bring more to the table to college tennis than the others, in my opinion.
Yep. I'd agree, but for me, it's honestly very biased because he is my favorite player. So you actually
Yeah.
gave some good reasons. Last question. What is your most memorable moment coaching at the collegiate level?
Oh, coaching. Okay, so whenever I'm gonna share with SBU, since the season didn't really continue with Harvard,
Mm.
so we're playing the regional match, and the winner of the regional match goes to the NCAA tournament in Florida, or I don't remember if it was Florida or Arizona, one of them. And we played this team in the season before, and so 1 month ago played the team, and we didn't have an easy win. I knew that this is a tricky team. The best thing about this match that we were playing home. We were hosted this match, but I know that this match, whenever you play that pressure at this level, at like that kind of pressure, I'm either done with the season today or I'm gonna go to the NCAA. Like it's a different pressure than whenever you play this team in a normal regular season match.
Yeah.
And as a coach, you always have, okay, this player has a big chances to win today. This player, maybe not. And you kind of calculate it in your
Yeah.
head the night before or the week before, like, okay, this match is going to go this way.
Mm.
And actually this match went against every expectation I had, like, and against every thing, like this player should beat this player and this didn't happen that day. This player should lose to this player and this didn't happen. So everything went south basically. And at some point I was like, okay, we're losing the match. We're ending the season. We're having the best season. And it came out to the number 5 player, Torben, at that time. And he won the match. And we won the match 5-4 because at that time the doubles point in Division 2 was 3 points.
Yeah.
So we won 5-4 and we ended up making to the NCAA and going to the quarterfinal, winning the first round there. So that was a memorable match because I was under a lot of stress, I would say. At couple of minutes, I was like, okay, season is done. Couple of minutes, oh, we're going to travel to NCAA. I never knew what was going to happen. So it's always a fun experience. Yes, it's super stressful, but it's always a fun experience as a coach. Especially whenever you win too.
Yeah. And
it gets better.
Would you definitely say that it's more stressful watching than playing?
Yes, it's more stressful because as a player, you have the stress of your own match, right? So you're worrying about your own match, you're dealing, you feel that you understand what's going on, you can control some stuff. Whenever you're a coach, I'm watching 6 other players at the same time, which is very stressful. And maybe I want to sit with Sonny now, but this next player also needs some coaching. Yes, you have your staff and that works with you, the head coach or the volunteer, or if it's Division 2 or 3 or NIA, maybe it's only the head and the assistant. But you also have to take a look at everyone playing. It's very important to make sure that everyone is at the level or competing to the level that you want, that gives them a chance to win. So it's very stressful from outside because you're worrying about a lot of players. Whenever you're a player, you're basically only worrying about yourself. Yes, you're worrying a little bit about your teammates.
Yeah.
But maybe the one next to you, one more next to you, you're probably not knowing if you're number 1, you don't know what number 6 is doing. It's too far away from you, So maybe you're worrying about 1 or 2 players and your coach, but as a coach, you're worrying about everyone. So it's a bigger stress, in my opinion.
For sure. I agree. Hey man, that concludes this interview. Thank you so much for taking the time, to help me, help LRT, and help all aspiring college tennis players just get a bunch of valuable information. Thank you once again.
Thank you, and it was great to be on the podcast with you, and I hope I'll be on one more time maybe.